All right. More people are going to be coming in. Hi, Ishika. Hi, Maria. Tell me where you're from, where you're joining. Mauricio, where are you joining from? Tell me. Nira, hello. Tell me where you're joining from. I'm going to wait for more people to come in, and then we'll start. Maybe you can introduce yourselves to each other. Daljit, hello. Welcome. Tell me where you're joining from, Daljit. And, oh, Kuram. Hi, Kuram. Kuram's been here before. I recognize Kuram. Tell us where you're joining from. Colombia, and now living in the States. Very cool. Welcome. Somalia, now living in Germany. Very cool, Maria. Daljit, joining from Canada. So cool. Well, welcome to everyone. Padmini just joined. Padmini, do you want to tell us where you're from, where you're joining from? Very cool to have people from all different time zones, all different parts of the world. I love that. That's one of the amazing perks of our community. People from everywhere. I love it. It's so special. I love it. All right. Let's see. Joining from India. Very cool. From Indonesia. Wow. Look at that. So many places. So tell me, what are you excited to learn in this workshop? Why did you join? This title seemed interesting to you, right? This workshop seemed interesting. Why did you join? Tell me, tell the others. Tell us. Good. I want to learn English. Yes. That's a good goal. It's a very good goal. It's great to learn languages. I'm a big fan of learning languages. Any language, really. I've learned various languages myself and speak them fluently. And, it's a very important skill to be able to have, especially in such a globalized world, right? Being able to live in different countries and live in different cultures and be able to communicate cross-culturally, right? These are all very important things. Extremely important. All right. So to learn how to present our reality. That's interesting. Yeah. Very cool. All right. So Ashika's here. So happy to see Ashika. Ashika is one of our full access members. So if you have any questions about the community, you can feel free to ask her in the chat. I'm sure she'll be happy to respond and answer your questions. So welcome, Ashika, and everyone else, obviously. I'm in continuous improvement, thinking to be confident in my communication. Great. I love that. Continuous learning, continuous growth, right? Learning doesn't stop when we finish school. It continues. And that's the beauty of lifelong learning and being able to, join programs like ours. We're all on journeys to enrich ourselves and to level up and to be an even better version of ourselves. I'm from Lahore, Pakistan. I want to learn digital marketing. So cool, Asif. I can speak German and French, also Arabic, but English is difficult. Yeah, wow, that's great that you speak already 3 languages. Very cool. So you'll learn English. I have a feeling you will, if you want to, of course, right? If that's where you're putting your energy, why not? If you are committed and you're, working on your skills and being consistent, then you'll learn it. I want to learn how to verbalize the thoughts in an assertive, professional way. Absolutely. Well, definitely stay tuned to the end because you're going to like what you hear about your professional way that you're talking about. All right, good. Well, I'm glad that you're all here. And I know 100 people RSVP'd to this. So I'm sure more and more people will be coming in as we go on with our workshop. This is a live workshop, right? So I would love for you to interact, right? Use the chat, use that and interact with the material, interact with each other, ask questions, share any insights or comments you have in regard to what we might be sharing in the workshop. And yeah, be participatory. So now would be a great time to silence your phones so that you can give this presentation and workshop your undivided attention, right? It's very easy to get distracted these days with all of our smart devices, but I really encourage you to take some time now. We have this hour to invest in yourself, to set aside those distractions, the to-do list, just put it on pause and let's concentrate here. Okay. How does that sound? Do you want to give me a thumbs up or an emoji to make sure we're all on the same page? What do you think? Let me know. Let me know. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. All right. So you're here because, yeah, Mauricio wants to speak with confidence. Exactly. You're here because you want to speak with confidence. And we've got a lot of strategies for you. We've got tons of strategies. And you know what? We're going to talk about several of them in this workshop. And I would love for you to get in the mindset of that growth mindset, right? Try to apply these. Try to think about it in a way that you're going to take these strategies and practice them and start trying to internalize them. Okay. So by internalize, we don't mean memorize. We mean really taking it in and starting to make it a part of you, right? Internalize. So you're going to digest the material. You're going to practice these strategies. You might even join us in our full access community where we practice these strategies multiple times a week when we're all on camera. So different from this kind of live workshop where it's just me on camera. It's just you're all on camera with me in these live workshops as a full access member, which is important because you get to then practice, right? You get to be on camera too. You get to practice your communication, your English, and it's a very special experience. Gerson's here. Good morning, everyone. I hope everything is going well for you. Likewise, Gerson. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way. Let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we are going to get this party started. So, speak it like you mean it. Mastering the art of confident communication. How does that sound to people? Good, I hope. I got some thumbs up in the chat. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good day. All right. So I want you to think of a time when you were not confident in communication. This could have been a limiting belief. This could be a situation where you were in the middle of a conversation and all of a sudden you kind of lost that confidence. Why did you lose that confidence? What about the conversation or the communication act or the speech act got you to sort of lose confidence in yourself? If anything, sometimes it's just, we don't really know, but it could just be some anxiety, like social anxiety, right? That's a very real part of people's kind of aversion to speaking in public. And even doing something like this, where you might be presenting, you might be on a Zoom call, you might be on a Google Meet, and you might feel nervous, or you might be chatting with people in a coffee shop, or you might be in a meeting at work, or just making some chit chat with your boss, right? Think of just a communication setting, any setting really. And can you think of a time where you didn't feel confident? So feel free to share that in the chat right now. And I'm sure people would have, some overlapping kind of experiences, right? We all communicate. We all want to be confident in our communication, right? We don't want to feel unease or not confident in ourselves. So that's an important thing, right? To be able to have this confidence. And that's why you're here. So hi again, I'm Mary Daphne, and I am CEO and co-founder of explearning and Advanced English, and I'm head of community here at explearning Academy, which is where we are doing this call from. And I'm here because I love to empower you with communication strategies, social skills, confidence boosting techniques, and help you to reach social fluency. So that's my jam. And many of you probably know me from the communication and the English language channel, right? I have two that I actively post on, explearning and Advanced English. And I spend a lot of time here in the community, creating workshops for you, being on calls, being in, different conversations and creating materials for you for this academy. So if you're looking to interact with me and other members, you can always join our full access community where you'll be on camera with us and you'll be able to practice your English language skills and communication skills. Because like I said, my goal is to help you become more confident in English, more confident in communicating with people, more confident with your social skills and your social emotional intelligence, and teaching you how to reach social fluency. So that's what we do over here at explearning Academy. All right, just a little bit of background on me. I have an EDM, an advanced master's degree from Columbia University in New York City, and I graduated with honors in the field of applied linguistics and ed tech. And I loved my time there, and it was an amazing experience. And then I have another master's degree in TESOL from Bacheshire University, and I graduated valedictorian. So that was a really nice time as well. And that's in TESOL and adult education and education in general, and English education as well. And then I have a BA in French and communication. I was a double major in college, or in university, as some parts of the world say. And I graduated magna cum laude. And I loved my time at Hamilton too. So yeah, I had a great experience at all the universities I attended. So I've got over a decade of experience in cross-cultural corporate communication, education, television, broadcasting, creating courses. And I've been teaching and designing courses for over 15 years. I've done teacher training, so training teachers how to teach at Columbia University, at Baruch College, Hunter College. All of those are in New York City, and then also abroad in different countries. So that's a little bit about my experience and my educational background, just for those who are interested. I think it gives some nice context for you who, are getting to know me. And then in terms of interests and languages, I love the interplay of language, culture, and social interaction. And that's where I do a lot of research, my own research. And in terms of some of my hobbies, there's so many things that I love to do, but if I had to pick a few of them, hiking, strength training, and I love creative activities. And then a fun fact about me, I'm multilingual, multicultural, born and raised in the US. I'm a native New Yorker and an avid traveler. And I love traveling. I love getting to know different cultures and interacting with people from all over the world, which I'm really lucky to say that we're able to do that in our community, our full access community. And in terms of languages that I speak, I'm a native English speaker. I am bilingual in French, and I am fully proficient in Turkish, and I'm learning Greek. So a couple of languages that I know too. All right. So in terms of our agenda, we're going to look at the power of confident speaking. We're going to look at overcoming fear and anxiety in communication and in language learning. We're going to talk about how to connect with your audience, what that means, talking about how to build your confidence muscle, because I always say, confidence is a muscle, social skills are a muscle that we have to work on. Just like we might go to the gym and do strength training or whatever kind of training you like, cardio, we've got to do that too with our communication skills, our social skills, our language skills, and guess what? Also, our confidence. We're going to look at the importance of authenticity and also the rewards of confident speaking. And I'm also going to talk to you about Explearning Academy as a full access member, what you get and what we do here, so that you'll be aware of that too and maybe join us. All right, excellent. So the power of confident speaking. So speaking confidently is a powerful tool that you can use to help you achieve success in both your personal life and your professional life, right? When you speak confidently, you exude an air of authority and competence. People know that you're capable, right? And it makes others take notice of you and then also respect you and your opinions, which is amazing. That's what we want. And confident speakers are also effective communicators, right? They're able to articulate their thoughts clearly, concisely, and they're more likely able to persuade others to see things from their perspective. And this is really important in terms of getting buy-in in professional settings, but also even in personal settings, right? Like, let's say you want to go on a vacation and you're trying to convince your family members or your siblings or your partner, and you want to make a good case for going on this vacation and allocating resources to it. So even in these kinds of personal situations, casual situations, we need to know how to be persuasive, right? That's an extremely important skill. And part of that comes down to confidence, being confident, being sure of what we're saying and how we're saying it. How does that sound? How are we doing so far? Can I see some action in the chat? Give me some emojis. Give me your favorite emoji. What's going on? So I don't feel like I'm just talking to, I guess, just somewhere in the ether. I want to make sure we're connecting here. Yeah, Gerson. Smiley face. I love it. Who's got other emojis for me? Who's got other emojis? Yeah, I love it. Thank you, Daljeet. Thank you, Nira. Beautiful. All right, good. So, all right, excellent, excellent. So what about overcoming fear and anxiety? So, of course, this is one of the biggest obstacles, right? When it comes to speaking with confidence, that fear and that anxiety and that uneasy feeling. Maybe it's the butterflies in your stomach. Maybe it's the sweaty palms. Maybe it's just general malaise or fatigue or, not feeling great. And that's not a fun feeling to have, right? I mean, if we've been there and we know what that's like, we're going to be nodding our heads, right? And saying, yeah, okay, overcoming fear and anxiety for sure. So, a lot of people feel nervous or even self-conscious when speaking in public. And that might even lead to things like stuttering, right? Or stumbling over words, or maybe even silence, like complete silence, or maybe shaking. I have a popular video on YouTube about shaky hands and how to sort of, avoid that. And so it's very important to start thinking about, okay, well, what are we supposed to do here with that? So a lot of it comes down to kind of thinking about our mental state, right? So kind of trying to calm ourselves as best we can, putting ourselves in a state of just easiness, right? Calm. And one way to do that is to connect with your breath, right? Really grounding yourself in that present moment and saying, okay, well, let me just focus on my breath. Let me just breathe. And it sounds so simple, yet when you do it, it's life-changing. It's a complete game changer. And there's several techniques. There's the box method. There's the double exhale, where you're exhaling even longer than when you inhale. There's the physiological sigh. So there's a lot, and it's really just about connecting with your breath. Now, separately, you can think about, meditation as a great way to kind of ground you and get those thoughts out of your head, and thinking about, okay, well, anxiety is a response to fear, right? And there's evolutionary reasons for it. And, in our current day and age, we might be over responding in a way. So just kind of, trying to realize that anxiety is alerting us to something, and it exists for a reason, a very real evolutionary purpose. But sometimes it's overkill. And sometimes we just have to say, okay, I know I feel this, but I'm going to do this anyway, and let your actions be the guide, and then change your mindset. Does that make sense? So you let your actions lead you. You say, okay, I'm afraid of this. I'm getting uneasy. I'm going to focus on my breath. I'm going to get into a positive mindset, and I'm going to let my actions guide me. So I'm going to do that thing anyway. I'm going to get out of my comfort zone anyway. I'm going to look fear in the face and say, I'm a little bit afraid, but I got this. I got this, right? So self-talk is extremely important here. Extremely important. Another strategy that you can try is progressive desensitization. So that's just a fancy way of saying, well, you can try to, gradually expose yourself to public speaking or to different speech acts and different communication events to become more comfortable with it. So you might begin by speaking in front of a mirror. Maybe you're talking to yourself in your mirror. Maybe then you move on to talking to friends and family and, presenting something to them, or just talking about, your day to day, right? Just having a conversation. And then maybe you even graduate to coming into our full access community and coming on to, into our workshops and into our conversations on camera, and really practice that way, because that gradual exposure is really going to help you reduce anxiety and build confidence. And practice, it makes progress. Practice makes progress. So coming into our workshops, doing what you can do, and then noticing change every day. After every workshop, you are going to notice incremental change. And that is pretty spectacular, right? Because just a little bit of something every week, or multiple times a week, every day even, is going to get you closer and closer to that goal of being more confident. You've got to be consistent. You've got to practice, right? We can't just will it into being. We can't just manifest it. We've got to do the work, right? Do the work. Come in. If you're really serious about speaking with confidence, you've got to practice. You've got to show up. Okay? Practice makes progress. I cannot stress that enough. The next thing you can think about is connecting with your audience, right? Another key aspect of confident speaking. And, when you see someone, you say, wow, they are so confident in the way they speak. I wonder, were they born that way? Did they learn it? Is it an innate, ability? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. So whether you're, thinking about connecting with your audience, whether it's on stage or in a coffee shop or in a meeting or in an interview, right? Whatever your communication event, whatever your speech act, find a way to connect with your audience. And in fact, one of the biggest, most important strategies I can give you is, in order to lower your speaking anxiety and your social anxiety, is to stop concentrating on yourself. Just get out of your head. Stop making it about you. Don't think of it as you are presenting something and you are the focus of attention, center of attention, and the focal point. You're not, okay? You're not. You are trying to focus on your audience. Focus on the people that you're talking to, that you're conversing with. Make it about them. How can you add value to their lives? Think of it that way. And so you're flipping the script. You're not making it about you. You're not self-conscious. You're not thinking, oh no, they're judging me. They're judging me. Don't make it about you. Make it about your audience. Okay. And when we say audience, this could be one other person that you're talking to. It could be 10 people. It could be 200 people. It could be 1,000 people. It could be a whole stadium, Yankee Stadium full of people. I don't know if there are any baseball fans out there, but, you got to make it about the audience. And that in turn will also substantially decrease your anxiety. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Peter. So happy for you to join us. Amazing. So, when you're having a conversation or when you're giving a speech, when you're presenting a proposal, thinking about engaging your listeners and making them feel involved in the discussion. How can you get them to be participatory? How can you include them? How can you help make it about them? How can you hear their opinions or have them voice their concerns or their ideas? So some really great techniques here to help us connect with audience members. And again, that could just be one other person you're talking to, is using humor, asking questions, telling stories, right? And by making this personal connection with your audience, what you're doing is you are building trust, you are building rapport, you're creating that connection with people, which are incredibly important for you to have successful communication outcomes. And also this will enhance the impact of your message, which is ultimately what we want to get at, right? Communicating is transmitting a message effectively. And so connecting with your audience, please remember this. Okay. So another strategy now to help us connect with our audience is active listening. Active listening is so very important to communication. You've got to think of communication as both speaking and listening, not just, speaking well, speaking eloquently, articulating your ideas well, getting to the point. Yes, that's part of it. That's certainly part of it, but it's only half the equation. The other part comes down to listening. And we're not listening passively, we're listening actively, right? Did you notice my shift in body language just there? Active listening, you are engaged, you're leaning in, you're all ears, all eyes. Passive, you're like, I'm thinking about something else, I'm looking out the window, I'm thinking about my lunch or whatever, right? So I would love for you to practice this the next time you are in a conversation. How can you make it part of your daily conversations? Fully focusing on the listener, understanding their message, responding in a thoughtful way, asking relevant follow-up questions, not just some random question that you have, but based on what they're saying. It's a relevant question. And as you do this, you're going to start to notice, and by the way, you can practice these in our community, these active listening strategies. You will start to notice that you're going to become even better at engaging your audience during your speeches, during your presentations, during your meetings, during your interviews, during your coffee chats, during your water cooler chats, during your small talk, and all the other speech acts and communication events we go through. And this is going to help you foster that sense of communication and trust, which boosts your credibility, which boosts your own confidence, and makes you feel like you are on top of the world. How does that sound to people? Tell me how that sounds. Give me a thumbs up. Are we following? Are we engaged? Did we just practice active listening now here in the very present moment? Tell me. I got a thumbs up from Kuram. Very cool. Who else? What else? Now might be a time for people to have a little sip of water. Thumbs up from Gerson. Very nice. I'm liking it. All right. So we talked about muscles, right? Confidence is a muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. And unfortunately, that's true of our actual muscles. So we've got to, 100%, Sarah, totally. So we've really got to make this a priority. If we're serious about it, if we're serious about boosting our confidence, then we've got to treat it as we would any other muscle in our body. Like any skill, speaking with confidence takes practice, consistency, repetition, right? The more you speak in public, the more you interface with people in digital communities, in Zoom calls, in, small talk, in, chit chat with your barista at Starbucks or wherever you talk with people, right? The more comfortable and confident you are going to become. Amazing. However, it is important to start small, right? We don't want to just throw ourselves in a situation where we're just, free falling. No, that would be a bit daunting. So instead, we want to, start small and start, build up your confidence over time. Gradually take those incremental steps. And one effective way is by joining a speaking group, taking a class, joining an online community like our one and only explearning Academy. And that way, you get safe environments, risk-free environments. And I can speak for our community. This is a risk-free environment where you're not being judged, you're not being evaluated, you are free to speak and engage with people. And you're in a safe space to practice your skills and take risks and get out of your comfort zone and get feedback. You get feedback from me, immediate feedback. You get feedback from other members in our community. And this can help you identify areas for improvement as well as your strengths. You might be doing some things really well, and you don't even know that you're doing those things well. And as you're doing them, you get feedback, and it's positive feedback. Or maybe there's some constructive feedback, which is very important. That, in a work setting or even in a social setting, people might not be able to voice that feedback for fear of, overstepping maybe. But in a community like ours, a safe space, you get that feedback. So important. So extremely important. So I would love for you to start thinking about confidence as a muscle to build and build and build on it, right? We're not going to immediately pick up a 20 kilo, 40-pound dumbbell if we've never done strength training before. But we're going to start with, a smaller weight, a lighter weight, and then build our way up to it, right? Any gym fans out there? Any strength training people? You'll get that analogy. And if not, then, think of it as any other skill that you would do, right? You don't start with the immediate difficult thing. You start small and you gradually build it up. Yes, practice makes perfect. And what I like even more is practice makes progress, because perfect is like, this thing that maybe is attainable, maybe not attainable. Usually it's unattainable, because what is perfect, right? Nothing human is perfect, really. And that's the beauty of it, the imperfect. Now we're getting a little abstract, but practice makes progress, because the goal is progress. Every day, better and better. And that in and of itself is a kind of perfect, right? So that's good. I'm glad that you said that, Sarah. Excellent. All right. So what about another strategy here for building your confidence muscle? Well, that would be consistently video recording and then reviewing. So record yourself and look back on the footage and see, oh, what am I doing right? What am I doing? What could I be doing better? And what's great is that we always record our live streams and our workshops and our conversations. So you get to watch those replays in our community. And I can't tell you the number of people in our full access community that say, thank you so much, Mary Daphne, for recording these. And because it gives me the opportunity to look back on what I'm doing right and what I can be doing better. And it's so true. I mean, I grew up dancing ballet. one of my favorite things ever in the world. I love it. And I remember we would have a dress rehearsal, and that dress rehearsal was always recorded. And we would play back the footage and watch what our dances looked like. And then we could make these tweaks and adjustments, which was so valuable because come time, the real performance, we knew what we could make small changes and tweaks to. And it's the same here in our community. You get to see yourself in the recordings, and you get to, start thinking about, okay, I did that really well. This I can do better. Could be tone of voice, nonverbal communication, certain words, grammatical structures, could be, nonverbal, verbal, like I said. So lots to think about. And, this is a great strategy for doing that. All right. So what about the importance of authenticity? So it is very important to speak with confidence, but it's also very important to be authentic and true to yourself. And we all have a different authentic expression, right? We're not going to communicate like someone else. We're going to communicate as ourselves. And, trying to adopt like a false persona or, something where you're kind of being inauthentic or trying to like imitate someone else's style and, adopt it as your own, that might come across as insincere and inauthentic. So that would undermine your credibility, right? And then effectiveness also as a speaker. So we don't want to do that. Now, it's perfectly fine. I know in like English language strategies in terms of like shadowing and, imitating and modeling, and that's okay. That's different because that is a training session, so to speak. But you're not trying to adopt it as your own. You can make tweaks. You can take a bunch of different styles and see what fits, what's most like yourself. But then just remember, it needs to be an authentic expression of you. Like when you ask yourself, does this feel like me? Or do I feel a little bit phony when I talk this way? Now, it's fun to practice different styles. And like I said, trying out the styles, trying out the language. But you really do want to start to think about focusing on developing your own style that is unique and your own voice, your own unique style and your own unique voice. And this might involve, embracing your quirks and your idiosyncrasies, right? That the perfect of the imperfect, right? Or simply being honest and transparent about your thoughts and your feelings. It's about being true to yourself, right? And by being true to yourself, you can build a deeper connection with your audience, with your listeners, and you can convey a sense of authenticity and integrity. So that's really powerful. So I always want you to remember being as authentic as you can and asking yourself, is this me? Is this a true expression of who I am? Is it a reflection of the person that I want to be in the world? So thinking about that in all earnestness. Okay. So one of the strategies for enhancing authenticity is this idea of personal storytelling. So what's great, and this would be a challenge for you to try, is to incorporate personal stories into your speeches, into your talks, into your small talk, into your presentations, into your Zoom calls and your Google Meets. And it not just brings out your own, unique voice and your style, to the forefront, but it also allows for greater transparency and honesty. So you can start by sharing these stories in a safe environment like friends, family, here in our community. And then you can gradually start to take them, into work or on stage or into a Zoom call with, your bosses or your colleagues. And then as you start to do this and get more comfortable with this idea of storytelling, right, this will enhance your connection with the audience and also reinforce your authenticity. So that's pretty special. That's pretty special indeed. So I would look into that. And again, the benefit of being in our full access community is that you can practice these stories. You can practice these strategies in real time, in a safe setting, risk-free, and get immediate feedback and, see where it takes you. So that's one of the biggest, I would say, advantages of joining a community like ours, where everyone's really kind to each other, very supportive and welcoming. And, that's a big plus, I would say. It's incredible to have the members that we have. So what about the rewards of confident speaking? I mean, there are so many, right? We have to remember that there are many awards that come with speaking with confidence. You feel better about yourself. You feel more confident in your interactions. You've got that increased credibility. You've got more respect from people. Whether you're looking to advance your career or make new connections or build your network or make friends or simply express yourself more effectively, confident speaking can help you achieve your goals and get after those aspirations, because we all have them, right? We all have our bucket list. We all have our career goals and our personal goals. And guess what? By speaking confidently across multiple settings, be it personal settings, casual settings, professional settings, we can reap the benefits. And that is marvelous. So by mastering the art of confident speaking, you can unlock your full potential and become a more dynamic, honest, transparent, authentic, and effective communicator. So many adjectives, right? So I really encourage you, don't be afraid to take risks, get outside your comfort zone, embrace your strengths, look at your weaknesses as points of improvement, not, stuck in that way. We're adopting more of a growth mindset, right? We can make changes in a positive way. So as you embrace those strengths and speak up with confidence and conviction, you will start to feel more confident as well. So that being said, I want you to also think about this strategy here, which is about goal-oriented speeches. So the way I would love for you to do this is you set specific measurable goals, right? These SMART goals that I've talked about in previous workshops. And, thinking about how are these goals related to that speech? So like a target for audience engagement or desired outcome. For example, a successful business proposal, that could be one, or a well-received presentation, or an amazing interview, right? So you want to practice your speech or your talking points with these specific goals in mind, right? Keep those top of mind. And then as you're doing them and you're practicing them and you're getting, feedback, I want you to start evaluating your performance based on them, right? And that encourages us to take risks, harness our strengths, get out of our comfort zone, strive for progress, not for perfection in speaking skills and communication skills. And that leads to more confident and effective communication. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool indeed. And then don't forget, as we're doing this, body language. So keeping, positive body language, open stance, making eye contact, appropriate gestures, smiling, solid stance. These are really important because they have a significant impact on how our message is received. So please remember body language. One thing too that's going to help you be less nervous is if you come prepared. Do your research ahead of time. Do your due diligence. Come prepared, right? If there's something that you need, to learn it. Learn it. There's no shame in that. We're constantly learning and evolving. So, thoroughly prepare and research before you speak. And this is really important, especially in, those public contexts or those professional contexts, because familiarity with a topic is going to boost your confidence and it's going to ensure that you're ready to address any questions or concerns that might arise. And speaking of that, handling Q&A. Oftentimes with speeches or presentations, you've got a Q&A at the end, a question and answer session. So knowing the strategies for effectively engaging in the Q&A is also a crucial part in speaking confidently, right? You don't want to have a great presentation and then at the end be like, oh, I don't know how to answer that question. Now, there's nothing wrong with saying I actually don't know the answer to that question, or it's beyond the scope of my presentation. That's different. That's phrased differently. And again, that's authentic. That's transparent. But if you're presenting on a topic, you should anticipate certain questions that might arise, right? These could be questions that you had while doing the research. So be prepared to engage with the audience in that way and address their inquiries, because that can demonstrate command over the topic and also enhance your credibility, which is important. Positive affirmations and mindset, right? This idea of giving ourselves a mind check, right? Check in with yourself and say, okay, well, how's my self-talk? Am I beating myself up over every little thing? Is my mind in a good space? And a lot of times the anxiety we feel is that's the message that, okay, something's wrong here. We've got to chill out. We got to take 10. So, things like visualization and the breathing techniques we talked about, and just saying positive things to yourself can really go a long way in terms of reducing stage fright, reducing social anxiety, and boosting self-confidence. So that's important. And then thinking about, constantly searching for feedback, continuous learning. Don't be afraid of failure. Don't be afraid of getting feedback. We've got to stop getting, too focused on making mistakes and mistakes being bad. They're not bad. They're great teachable moments, provided that we learn from them. So really thinking about, okay, well, how can I learn from this past experience? How can I be more open to developing a more confident speaking style based on previous experience with XYZ, right? So embracing feedback, seeking it out, asking for feedback, and learning. It's a lifelong journey. That's really the name of the game. Thinking about role models and mentors, right? So, having a role model for speaking or communicating, right? Learning from their experiences and valuable insights that can enhance personal growth and communication and confidence. And in our community, we have people that are in those kinds of mentor roles in their lives outside of the community. So, connecting with them, and I myself, as a mentor to you, you can have access to that in our full access membership. So the other thing I want to mention is visual aids, because that's a great way, if you're using it in a correct way, that's going to boost your confidence, because you have something to kind of, lean on a little bit, right? It's not like you're using that as a crutch, but it's more so using it in an effective way to connect with the audience and making sure your message is as clear as it can be, because that just adds another layer of engagement and connection and can further, the audience's understanding of that message. Has anyone used visual aids before? Give me an emoji, a thumbs up. Let me know. How did it go for you if you used emojis? Not emojis, visual aids. I mean, to be honest, emojis could be a type of visual aid, couldn't they? What do you think? Have we used visual aids before? Because these are a great way, I mean, obviously you're not going to use a visual aid in small talk necessarily, because it's more transient, but there are ways of incorporating it in, this is a visual aid, right? The presentation I'm sharing with you. Great resource. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. So that's good. And then lastly, I want you to think about pacing and pausing. Okay. So controlling the pace and the speech and using pause for effect. Don't worry about those moments of silence. That's important, not just for the audience to process the information, but it's also important for you. And you know why? Because those pauses allow you some thinking time. Yes, my friends, thinking time, super important. So you can make sure that you're coming up with as great of a message as you can think of. And a lot of times we're thinking on our feet, right? So if we have a little extra time, a couple seconds, milliseconds even, to just pause and think, you're going to do yourself a great favor. Yeah. So I'm getting lots of agreement here in the chat. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, Gerson says reorganizing our thoughts and ideas. Sarah says right. And it's great to see that we've got people using visual aids. I'm glad to hear that. So thinking about how these tools can improve speech delivery, boost your confidence, increase audience comprehension, have your message be transmitted well. That's all part of effective communication, right? Okay, good. So if you like our free lessons on Spotify and on YouTube or wherever you found us from, and if you enjoyed this workshop and you want more like this and more value, then you might be interested in our full access community. So is it for you? That's the question you've got to ask yourself. This is not a traditional English training program. We're focused on professional skills training designed for international professionals. So, and because it's international, we recognize that for a lot of people in our community, English is going to be a second or third or fourth or fifth language. And in linguistics, we just call it a second language. That's the term for it. So, English is one of the many skills that we professionalize in our community. We emphasize communication skills, social fluency, professional communication, emotional social intelligence, and more, using this English language as a medium for language, for instruction, for communication. So that's what we do. And we do, things like business English, professional communication, reaching social fluency, emotional social intelligence, like I said, conversation skills, making small talk, learning how to interface with people so you can get better jobs, make more friends, get the, career that you really want, maybe start a side hustle, have that turn into a fully fledged business, right? You need to have these communication skills, and that's what we emphasize. And by the way, the communication strategies I teach in our community are also applicable to other languages. So let's say you're learning French or you're learning Japanese or you're learning, Swedish. These communication strategies are also applicable in those cultures and languages. Of course, we take into consideration cultural differences, and that's something that we talk about a lot in our cross-cultural and our intercultural lessons and workshops. But even if you're learning another language, but you also still want to improve your English skills and your communication, you're going to learn those communication and social skills here. Because I don't know about you, but they don't teach these skills in other places. We don't grow up learning social skills or communication skills, certainly not in the US. And I've lived abroad, I've worked abroad, I've been living in different cultures and countries. And in those places too, communication is not taught in school. Communication, social skills, these things are not taught. We're just supposed to know them. We're just supposed to soak them up somehow peripherally, but that doesn't work that way. So that's something to consider too. So it's the best value on the internet. You get so much value from this community that it's kind of remarkable in terms of like the price point. You can't beat it. You can look all over the internet, and I guarantee you will not find another community like this for this value. So that's really incredible. And, if you want more than 2 or 3 workshops in a month, if you're interested in getting to a level of English or communication where you're confident and you're comfortable and you're in control of your communication and you just exude coolness and confidence, then you've got to join us. If you want to get better jobs in English, increase your job prospects, maybe live in an English-speaking country, or you already live in an English-speaking country, but you want to just be more successful and confident and make friends, and maybe you want to conduct business in English, then Explearning Academy is the absolute best place to learn and grow, improve your communication skills, boost your confidence levels, get personalized feedback, enjoy as many of the live workshops as you want where we're all on camera together. We're all here together, and be with a community of like-minded learners, then you're going to be well on your way to success. Well on your way, my friends. I guarantee you, when you join, you are going to leave a better person, a better communicator, a more knowledgeable individual, a more confident individual, just, a happier individual too, because guess what? We as social creatures, as humans, we are social creatures. We need connection. We need human connection. We need to be able to feel confident in our ability to communicate, to make friends, to do business better, to get better jobs, to, basically achieve anything we want in life. That's done with people, right? We don't just do that alone. We're not antisocial by nature. We actually are very social creatures. So allow yourself to be that. Allow yourself to grow into that. And if you have social anxiety, then, that's something that we work on. You're not alone. You're absolutely not alone. So many people suffer from anxious feelings and being nervous when interacting with people and lacking confidence. But I get it. This is something where I've extensively studied, and I've been doing this for over 15 years. And I myself, in addition to being a language teacher and a communication trainer, and, I've taught all levels, from little kids to adults to teacher training to corporates to executives. I mean, all levels. And guess what? Everybody has anxiety. So this is an amazing place to grow and to learn. And I'm going to ask you this, are you imagining a future that is tied to English proficiency and being a better communicator? Do you want to excel in your career, whatever that is, right? You could be a self-employed individual. You could be a corporate employee. You could be someone who's still in school but has big dreams and big goals. Get after those goals. You can do it, right? Do you want to live in an English-speaking country? Do you want to polish your professional skills for better job prospects? Maybe you're in an okay job right now, but you have your eyes set on bigger, better things. Go after those. Go after those. Don't be afraid to. And do you envision yourself confidently navigating the business world? Do you want to do that with confidence? Then you're going to love what we're launching. We have a new space called the Executive Communication Lab. And this is a place where you are going to polish and learn professional skills. You're going to learn executive communication. You're going to learn how to be confident in business settings, in professional settings, how to be social in business settings, how to make small talk in business settings, how to have that social emotional intelligence in business and professional settings. So you can learn more about this too. By joining. You can join. I'll give you the link to join. This will give you a free trial, a 7-day free trial, which we don't normally offer. And that actually is going to expire in a few days. So doors close on the 29th of May. So if you're interested in everything I discussed here and more, then you should definitely sign up for that free trial. 7 days, and then you can decide if you want to do a monthly or a annual. And if you do annual subscription, you get 30% off. So that's a big discount that we offer. And so I would definitely take advantage of it. And then you can also join our live call. This will be everybody on camera, and I'm doing one of these. So to give you a taste of what that is like. And that's going to be on Sunday. So you can certainly ask questions in that call about, the community, and maybe you'll even try it out, and then you can ask other types of questions or ask feedback and things like that. So you can upgrade your membership and go to what I showed you on this slide before, where you can see it on the side in your navigation panel, and there should be stars there. And then you can go into down here, right? lower left that you can see on my screen here, and try the 7-day free trial. Why not? You've got nothing to lose. You've just got amazing things to gain. Best value on the internet. Skill enhancement, peer network, expert guidance, tailored learning, career profession. And that's just in the executive communication lab. But when you join the full access community through that link that I shared, you will get access to all the spaces, everything. No holding back. You've got all of our web courses, all of our lives, all of our replays, all of our everything, workshops, materials. I mean, when you come in and see the full access community, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. This is incredible. And I know that because that's what people have been saying. Remember saying, you can read for yourself. This is what they're saying. Very different than any language program or communication program. Small groups, confidence increases. Everyone's encouraged to speak. Everyone gets taken care of individually. Everyone benefits. Helder used the strategies that we shared, and he used it for his work and presentation, and everyone loved it. It's not just about learning English. It's learning practical communication skills in real life situations. So these are relevant to you, to your real lives. So Raquel doesn't get to use English in her daily life. So that's one of the reasons why she joined our community. And she is so happy she did, because she's able to meet with people from all over the world, learn from them, learn from what we have in the community. And, you know, her fear of public speaking has decreased substantially. Edwin feels like the style of interaction is cutting edge, and he says his speaking and his skills have improved tremendously, and he has surpassed those, language barriers that you would feel like you have in a language learning environment. And he uses these strategies in real life settings. Like I said, these are applicable, right? And we can practice them in the workshops. We practice them outside in real life too. And you're just going to feel much more confident. Saval loves the community. She doesn't know how time flies, improving her communication skills. She likes getting her feedback from the frequent community meetings. Ashika's here because she wants to improve her social emotional intelligence and become socially savvy. She's not here for English. She's here for communication. And she loves the way we teach. She feels very at ease and comfortable here. And she says she's already experiencing subtle shifts, which is incredible. The community's international diversity is perfect for interacting in multicultural settings. And wherever you go in the world, you will be interacting globally, interacting with people from all over the world. So she feels confident and comfortable to speak and share her ideas with integrity and grace. So who's got the first question? Any questions? We're running out of time. So if you have any burning questions, feel free to ask me now. And yeah, I would love for you to, try it out. Try out the community. Come to our full access community. I shared the link with you. You won't be disappointed. One of our members says that this is the best investment she's made, and she did not regret it. And she thinks you won't regret it either. So I agree with her. Shout out to Medea. So that's a wrap. I'm so glad that you took some time here to invest in yourself, invest in your communication and confidence, and, start taking the next step forward, moving forward, leveling up. You're clearly serious about self-improvement and growth, which is why you're here. And so I commend you for taking that first step. And if you want more, if you want to follow up, then try our community, our full access community, 7-day free trial. So I would take advantage of this, and that way you get to experience it, the real thing. Because these workshops are great, but they're very limited, right? They don't give you they're not a full reflection, a true reflection of what we do here. But they're great, and I'm glad that you participated. But think of how much more you can participate if you join the full access. All right. So I've done a lot of talking. I'm going to now turn this off, shut this down. Thank you again for joining. don't forget, I'll give you the link again. You can try both of these. One's a longer one, one's a shorter one. Whatever strikes your fancy, click on whichever. That will give you that free trial, 7 days, and then we can go from there. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. So great to have you. And I will see you soon. So what schedules are handled for live classes? Mauricio, those are at this time. Most of the time we have our live workshops at this time. So if you were able to join this, like 1 hour from this time, whatever that is for your time zone, that's the time we usually have our workshops. So if you were able to join, then you'll be able to join the ones in our full access community. You're welcome, Sarah. Thanks for coming. So happy that you stopped by. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, everybody. All right. I will see you soon. Bye. Thank you. Bye, everybody. There's some people typing in the chat. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So I'll see everybody soon, maybe in the community, maybe in the free workshops, maybe in the full access community. Who knows? But thank you again, and I will see you very, very soon.